I inherited a mink coat recently. I come from money. Not like pony money, more like go ahead, major in history, see what happens. Money. I inherited a mink coat. I wore it to this donation-based yoga studio that I like to go to sometimes that I did not realize was like a meetup group for vegans that was not advertised. But I walk in, I'm wearing the coat, and this woman walks up to me and she says, too confidently, just so you know, a lot of animals suffered so that you could wear that coat. And I said, yeah, my aunt fucked a man she didn't love for 40 years so I could wear this coat. We all suffer. I am a married person. We live in New York. I know that Denver is also a cool town. We got a lot of friends that are experimenting with like ethical non-monogamy, poly, opening up their marriage. I don't want to do that. I want to cheat on my husband. The old-fashioned way. This is true. On my first date with my husband, I sat him down and I was like, look, I've had an abortion, I have sex for money, and every time I have sex, I have a panic attack. So if you want to get in on this. Oh, you're actually fine with all of that? That is a huge red flag. I am no longer interested. Have some self-respect. When I met my husband, I was working as an hourly escort at the time, which has made it hard not to do the math. Right? Because like he's a great guy. I've been having a great time, and also he's been getting a great deal. We were married by his Southern Baptist grandparents, who are not only ministers but also missionaries, and our tantric sex instructor, because I believe in bringing people together. Donald Trump reminds me of every client I ever had who talked the whole time about how hard he was fucking me with a limp dick. That feels like the vibe of this administration. Donald Trump feels like the kind of dude that if he ever accidentally made a woman wet, he'd be like, ew, slimy. When I was reading Anne Frank in middle school, I'd always assumed that I would either be somebody like in the attic or somebody hiding people in the attic. It never occurred to me that I would be some dumb bitch like talking to like chat bots trying to get diet pills on the internet during these apostles. Like, right, it's a weird feeling. I'm a bad person. Did you know that you can prescribe yourself diet pills on the internet by talking to a chatbot that's maybe a doctor? I'm very bad at ordering things online. I'll tell you this. I tried to buy Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill CD. It doesn't matter why. But I wanted the CD. It doesn't matter. And I ordered the sheet music. That's like my relationship. Right, and so like when I was like talking to the chatbot or whatever, I thought that I was ordering Ozempic. That was what I was like. I gave the information. I was like, I'm a white woman in America dealing with the same non-problematic 15 pounds. I'd like to fight fascism if my pants fit different. I don't know. Right, and they ended up they sent me hundreds of pills, and I took them for weeks before I Googled anything. But it turns out I've been taking a cocktail combination of antipsychotic pills. Shit they give people with bipolar, right? And opioid addicts, and like antidepressants, and B12. I shouldn't have this power. I have an aunt, not my mink coat aunt, she's still alive. This aunt, she came to last Thanksgiving with so much lip filler that she can't say her P's anymore. Right? And I looked Christmas future in the eye, and I was like, I'll make this Faustian bargain. I don't give a fuck. Do you guys remember that plane crash where, like, some rugby players had to eat other rugby players, and then we were obsessed with that? Right. I was in the 3rd grade when the movie about that came out, and I remember vividly standing on the playground listening to this other third grader, this 8-year-old, holding court, saying shit like, I would never eat a person. Ew. Right? But I'm a soldier's daughter. Right? So I was like, you have no idea what you would do in a survival situation. I bet you'd eat your dog and your mom. And that got me sent to the guidance counselor because defending cannibalism in the third grade is like a real red flag, apparently. But they called my father, and by the time I was in the third grade, my father had been to 3 wars 4 times. Right, so after this guidance counselor finished explaining like what had happened on the playground, my father looked this woman in the eye and said in front of me, yeah, if my daughter ever finds herself in that kind of situation, I hope she starts with the dead and moves on to the weak. What are you? Thank you guys so much, Denver.